Hello my dears, and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all doing well, and I am happy and grateful that you've chose to spend your time with me. But before we meet our deck, I wanted to let you know the ways you can support my channel. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe so I can appease the mighty algorithm and be seen by more people. Hit the bell if you want to be notified when a new video comes out, or you can buy me a coffee. Any proceeds I get will go back into buying decks to review here. And with that being said, we have the Golden Age of Horror 2nd edition. And this deck was created by Bobby Alexander, and it is self-published, and it retails for $50 on his Etsy shop. And I will have all of his socials linked in the description below. And the cards came in this minimalistic box, and there's no title stackability, and there is a plastic covering on it to show a little bit sneaky peek of the cards. It does not come with a guidebook, and you can basically use any kind of tarot book with it. And the cards are the same size as your traditional tarot. And the reversals will not be revealed. And in my tarot videos, I like to show you a side-by-side comparison so that if you are looking for a new deck, you can see if it's something you would like to buy. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at these. Alright. So, this magician is the actual cover from the very first Eerie comic book that kind of started it all. And it was put out by Avon Publications, and this is Eerie #1, and it was put out in January 1947, and it was the first horror comic with original content. So these cards are basically taken from actual comic book covers of the Golden Age of Horror. And it reached a peak in the late 50s through the mid 50s. I did a little bit of background on it because I like to see if there's any background information or any history of what the creator was going for. And I found out that little tidbit. Alright, so little explanation on the Justice and Strength card. So pre-Rider-Waite, the cards were Justice was number 8 and Strength was number 11. And along came Rider-Waite-Smith, and they had switched the two cards for astrological and numerology reasons. And if you're interested in the reasons and the background, I would suggest go ahead and Google it, because I really don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I just wanted to show you that, so that if you come across it, to not worry that your deck is broken, there's anything wrong with it. It's just a choice of the creator, whichever one they want to follow. So I just wanted to add that little tidbit, because I didn't want you to panic or be like, oh my god, what's wrong with the deck? Is it a misprint or anything? No, it's not. So I just wanted to show you a side-by-side comparison of it, even though I switched it up. And as you can see, these are the actual covers of the horror comics at that time. They did have to switch the title, and he has gone with numbers instead of the Roman numerals. But I thought it was interesting that they're from actual comic book covers from that time period. And I love horror, so it did pique my interest, and the more I saw the artwork, I went ahead and got it. And it is amazing at how far the artwork has come from back then to now. Okay, so that is the end of the major arcana. And if you're interested in checking out Bobby's site, he does have a pretty good assortment of other decks. He does have a pocket size version of this, as well as the first edition. Alright, let's go on to the wands. And he has a vintage book illustration tarot deck created from book illustrations that are from the 1800s. He has the Golden Age of Horror Tarot, first and second edition. And he has pocket sizes of those guys too. The Golden Age of Romance Tarot, he just has the pocket size, last I checked. He has a Japanese tarot deck that is created from prints and drawings that are 300 years old. He has a tarot deck with vintage animal art. A tarot deck based on Pulp Fiction magazines of the 1940s and 50s, and regular and pocket size version. And he has a tarot deck based on science fiction pulp magazines from the 1940s, and I also have that deck, which I will be doing a future video on it. He also has tarot cards based on vintage color book illustrations, and a fine art tarot deck that was created from direct scans of paintings that are over 400 years old. So he has quite the spectrum of cards. So if you want to check it out, Alright, we have the King of Wands finishing it out. And next, we have the Swords. And I do believe that until you are familiar with the deck, you are going to struggle if you're not familiar with the Rider-Waite deck. But that's, I believe, with any kind of new deck, until you're familiar with it and you've used it over and over again. But as a beginner, no, I would wait. I mean, you can buy the deck. I would never tell anybody not to buy a deck. But if you're looking for something similar to the Rider-Waite, yeah, this is gonna frustrate you. So I don't want you to become frustrated with the deck, because learning the tarot is overwhelming and frustrating as it is, and you don't want to do that to yourself at all, because you know it's a process that just takes time and practice, and you know you're not going to know it right off the bat. You're not going to look at the deck and go, ooh, I see that. No. Every person who has gone through the journey of learning tarot has had to practice and has to learn. So, I mean, you can buy it and use it later on when you feel that you're ready for it. Totally up to you. Finish the pentacles out. Okay, and last but not least, we have the cups. me finish out this deck with the King of Cups. Alright, so that is pretty much the deck itself. And if you are comfortable with the regular tarot, shuffling shouldn't be an issue. The cards are pretty much the same material as like regular playing cards, or like this, like the regular tarot cards. About the same material. And yeah, I wish they were a little bit thicker. I mean, they are bendy, they are flexible, and I do think that they'll last. I just wish that they were a little bit thicker. Alright, let's see who wants to peek out. Okay. Knight of Cups. Okay, so Knight of Cups. Well, typically looks like that. So normally the Knight of Cups is offering some emotional cup, and I think we've got our water creature, who is trying to offer this woman some love. So I think it's kind of similar in a way. I just like the deck and the illustrations. But that is pretty much it. So let me know what you thought about the deck, and if you went out and bought it, please let me know, because I'm curious to see if I have any impact on helping people and buying decks. And if you would like to see a future deck, let me know and I will see what I can do. And once again, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you will join me with a future video, but until then, take care and goodbye, my dears.